What drives you, exile? Is it justice? Revenge? Honor? No. It is power. We felt your deeds. Felt their shockwaves ripple through the void. You have our attention. Now you must keep it. Your limits will be tested. The stars themselves will bear silent witness. How far will you bend before you break?
Hey guys, Dante here, back with another little video. And we're back on POE 1. It's been about a week and a few days since the league launched, and I had quite the experience. I initially started as a Elementalist Wander, but I then spec'd into Reap Ignite, and then I spec'd into a Necromancer. So, let's get into it. The build that I'm currently playing is a Animate Weapon of Ranged Arm. Basically, it's you revive or animate your weapons that are here on the ground, and they do damage. Yeah, that's basically it. Normally, this without the alternate quality is melee, which feels kind of bad. I mean, it feels good with good investment, but otherwise, I prefer the range one because it gives you very good clear. Like you saw in the videos, like I've been popping entire screens, and it's really fun to play. The version that I'm currently playing is a chaos based one because we are a necromancer, and because of our ascendancy, unnatural strength, minions get a holy might, and 100% of physical damage is converted to chaos, and they apply wither on hit, 25% chance, but because they're hitting so often, it's 15 stacks of wither constantly. So, how does the build work? We are using Bladefall of Throtus, yeah, to spawn these blades, which we animate, and these deal damage. Now, it is noted that your anime weapons have a certain duration, so every so often during a map or a boss encounter, you can see they last 95 seconds, so if you finish a map in 95 seconds, you can have them up all the time. If you don't, then once you're mapping, you just like right click sometimes and you spawn a few more. Again, all of their physical damage is converted to chaos, which is good. And we got a 100% chance to poison. How do we get a 100% chance to poison? Because we're using Foulborn United in Dream. This gives us a flat 60% chance to poison, and this Foulborn version has 30% quality, and quality for anime range weapons of arms gives you more anime weapons. So I got 23 right now. If I would remove this, I would drop to 21, I think. No, 20 at 20. Yeah, I would drop down to 20. So this is probably the best in slot weapon. And it's very cheap for this kind of content. It's very cheap. You could go for a +2 wand with trigger that would alleviate a few of the clicks, but you would have to invest into more jewels with chance to poison, and you would lose 3 anime weapons. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, so let's get into the gear. Like I said, Foulborn United in Dream with 30% quality to minion skill gems. For your amulet, Replica Dragon Fang with +3 to all anime weapon gems is your best in slot for the budget version. For the more expensive one, you could use Ulnatol's Vow to get a pseudo 8 link on here. And in there you would put vicious projectiles in, but that's like 20 divines, and this one's like 50 chaos. So yeah, try to get one with a decent rolled reservation efficiency of skills, and yeah, GG. For the body armor, the Covenant is again your best in slot because it gives you level 29 added chaos damage, and basically another link, massive damage increase for the anime weapons. For the belt, Darkness Enthroned, get a decently rolled one. Ideally, you want 100% to get double the effect of the socketed jewels, but 95 or above is very good. Why I say get higher roll? Because you can solve your ailment immunity just from the jewel if you get 100% one. If you get 100% Darkness Enthroned and you sock it in like a jewel like I have here, 50% chance to avoid being shocked, you get 100% chance to avoid being shocked. Combine that with Storm Shroud, you get ailment immunity very easily. Alright, For my ring, I'm using the Hungry Loop with Feeding Frenzy, Mid Shield, Elemental Army, Minion Life, and I'm socketing Raised Zombie in here. Raised Zombies will give us Feeding Frenzy, and because they're hugging us so much, like because we're using the recall, they're kind of like a meat wall, basically. They kind of protect us from projectiles and stuff like that. For the other ring, a well-rolled bone ring with life, res based on what you need. It's very important to have the minions deal increased attack and cast speed with minion damage if you want more damage, but the attack and cast speed is very good, very important. Just more damage, faster mapping, and all that good stuff. Resistances based on your gear. I needed chaos res, so I got my chaos res capped. For the gloves, rare gloves with increased armor and evasion, minions deal increased damage, life, resistances. I got a full written crafting guide in the link that's going to be in the description for each and every item, so I won't take too long on these. But you just get the fracture base, spam essences, get life, finish suffixes with Eldritch currency. That's about it. Boots, life, speed, armor, evasion, resist. The strength does nothing because of our timeless jewel. I used this on my previous build and I was just too lazy to change it. I got the chance to avoid being shocked implicit because my build is not 100% roll, so I'm at 98, I think. 98% chance to avoid being shocked, and I needed a few more, so I just got the implicit over here. Alright. Helmet, very important, +2 to all minion skill gems, life, reservation efficiency, double res. The way you craft this is you get the fractured base, essence spam until you got good resistances in your suffixes, and then just Eldritch Craft, Jesus, hard to speak, Eldritch Craft with Eldritch Chaoses, Exalts, and Eldritch Nulls until you get a good life roll, and then just bench craft the other one. Alright, did I forget anything? No, really, I don't think so. For the flasks, armor flask with armor, Quicksilver with stun and block recovery. I'm running gold flask with movement speed. You can probably run something else. I'm using Witchfire Brew because I don't have any gem slots left to socket in a Despair, so it's not very reliable for bosses because you only pop it once and then it consumes all your charges, so you don't got a second use. Ideally, you would like to have a proper Despair curse somewhere, but this works for now. And the life flask with Corrupted Blood Immunity. That's about it. Okay, let's get into the gems. Now, let's start with the weapon. This is very important, so pay attention. You got level 25 Envy, right? Level 25 Envy gives you a lot of flat chaos damage to attacks and spells. This is very important because you give it to your allies. Which means your anime weapons benefit from this. Now, if you socket in Generosity in your weapon, that Generosity applies to the Envy. Okay? Now, if you link Generosity with another support, like another aura, that will double dip. Basically like having another, imagine this Flame Golem, Stone Golem being linked to this, and this being the Envy gem. That's basically what's happening. So you really want to do Envy in your weapon because of the Generosity. You want to do Generosity in your weapon because of the Envy. And then I socketed to Haste, so you can see both my Envy and Haste are supported by Generosity. Generosity gives you increased effect of skills. So that's why we're getting so much damage. Okay? And I got a Stone Golem that is now linked to this. In my helmet, I'm using Ray Specter, Minion Life, Animate Guardian, and Empower. We're going to go over the gear of the Animate Guardian later. Anime Weapon of Ranged Arms, GMP, Pierce for Clear, Unleash, I need to call it this, or Awaken Unleash, Awaken Unbound Ailments, and Awaken Minion Damage. Over here, Malevolence, Temper Shield, Carrion Golem. Now, Carrion Golem is important because you can read there, grants 33 to 49 additional physical damage per non Golem minions. 53. So this gives you a lot of flat fizz to you and your enemy weapons. So this golem gives you a lot of damage because we're using 9 zombies, 4 specters, 1 AG, that is 14 additional minions plus the anime weapons, so you get a lot of added flat fizz from the summon carrying golem, so I highly recommend using this one. All right, plus with this quality you also get increased buff effect, so really good. In my boots, automation, Bladeful of Stratus, which allows us to summon our weapons. Convocation, really important to quality up convocation and automation, so you get the explosions from your AG. We'll talk about that. And Steel Skin for defensive purposes. Frostblink, Shield Charge, that's for mobility. Bone Offering, this will get you block capped. As you can see, I am at 46% chance to block. If I use my Bone Offering, I'm at 77% chance to block, so I'm block capped right now. And Desecrate to be able to cast this. If you're gonna go for a different version than this, with a wand, you could put Desecrate and Bone Offering in the one with the trigger. Yeah, you could free up some stuff, but you're gonna lose probably a lot of damage. Alright, let's go over the jewels. So for the jewels and the build, I'm using Life, Avoid Shock, Chance to Poison, and additional physical damage for my minions. Attack and cast speed, additional physical damage for minions, taunt, poison, chance, and stuff like that. This is all you want to look for. It's going to be in the written guide, so make sure to check that. You want to prioritize added fizz, chance to poison until you're capped, attack and cast speed, and you want minion damage if you use the minion skill recently. Continuing with the jewels. Over here, Life, minions deal increased damage if you use a minion skill recently, taunt, fizz. Ideally, you want attack and cast speed as well. Life, attack and cast speed, added fizz. Amunamu is basically really good because it gives you 6% damage over time multiplier per ghastly jewel up to 30%. So I have 4 right now. Ideally, you want a 5th to get it to max. But yeah, I'm gonna work on that. And going on to the unique jewels, we got a Storm Shout, which allows us to get element immunity thanks to the jewel and the boot craft, like I mentioned before. Over here, I have a large cluster with 35% increased effect, 3% increased attack and cast speed. These are the 2 most important mods. You really want this because this scales tremendously. For the other mods, you could go for resist, life, armor, energy shield, or whatever you want. Over here, I am using a combination of Forbidden Flesh and Flame that gives me Commander of Darkness right here. So auras from your skills grant 3% increased attack and cast speed to your allies and you. Plus you get 30 auras and increased damage. So yeah, really good. I don't think any other Bloodline Ascendancy is really good for this build, so I cannot justify speccing out of anything, really. Over here, we got a Timeless Jewel under Caspiro. Caspiro changes your keystone to Supreme Ostentation, which ignore attribute requirements, and you get no inherited bonus from attributes. Meaning, you can tattoo your entire tree, like I did. And I got here minion damage, block spell damage. I think it's overkill, maybe on the spell damage. Yeah, it could be overkill. But it was cheap. I think I got the jewel for 1 divine. And for what it offers, I think it's really good. Nothing really stands out, but I got 100% increased minion damage, so pretty good. Okay, so those are the jewels. So moving on to the Ascendancy. You want mindless aggression, more life, more damage. Unnatural strength, this brings the build back to poison damage. Very important. Bone Barrier, this is tremendous for defenses. It gives you 1% additional physical damage per minion up to 10%, so you get 10% phys damage reduction right off the bat. And 1% of damage dealt by your minions is leached to you as life. You got a lot of leech, basically. They got a lot of leech, so a lot of damage. So 1% of that damage will top you up instantly. And also minions gain 40% of max life as extra energy shield, really good for your AG. And offerings affect you. That is how we get block. Okay. So over the tree here, I just take all the minion nodes, block nodes, life nodes, reservation nodes, block, life, minion, stuff like that. Max res and some good stuff. All right. Was there anything else on the tree? No, I don't think there is. So let's see. We went over the gear, the gems, the tree, the ascendancy, the jewels. I don't think I'm missing. Oh, the grafts. Right. Very important. So this graft right here, ever enervating grasp, this will sap enemies on hit. Okay. Sap gives you a defensive layer, right? Plus it deals some damage, not great. And this one, glowing silhouette, will cause shock ground. So you're constantly shocking and sapping bosses. This is the only time you use it. So you press the button, the little hands, they're gonna sap and shock the boss. You only pop it on bosses. For the other prefix, for the other mods on these, you want minions deal increased damage. So we're getting 106 increased minion damage just from these two. Right? Very, very good grafts. For the other mods, you could go for increased effect of non-damaging elements. I got it on both my gears, so the shock and the sap are even bigger. Alright. Yeah. The build can do roughly all content. Some Ubers it does struggle with.
Not only gets 2, but it functions identically to the...
What the fuck was that? Sorry about that. It does struggle with some Uber bosses, right? Particularly, I think it struggles with Searing Exarch. Now, the downside of the build is that every time you zone into a zone or a map, like I go to here, so I got 4 weapons, I did a new one, I teleport, my weapons are gone. So I just have to summon them again. Now, in mapping, this is not an issue. Or like Uber Shaper or Elder or Uber Elder or stuff like that, because you got time to summon them. If you die during Searing Exarch, there is a small chance that you can break that, because he can clap you before you get your weapons back up. So this is a downside, so keep this in mind. Okay. Yeah, I think that is it for this one. If you guys got any questions, as always, make sure to drop them in the comments. My mobilities link will be in the description with the written guide, with the POB and everything that you guys need. Yeah, so I look forward to your questions. If you got any, I hope you enjoyed the build. I hope it piqued your curiosity. And as always, until next time, take care and stay safe.